Da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum. What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review and a special Kickstarter review. Today I'm very excited to check out Retreat to Darkmoor from Action Phase Games. This is for 2 to 4 players. Ages 14 plus. Will take about 30 minutes to play. And in Retreat to Darkmoor, you are going to be playing as minions trying to run away from the impressive hero who is inevitably going to crush you. In actuality, it is a light filler weight area control game. But does it work? Let's open it up and I'll tell you about it. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Retreat to Darkmoor. First and foremost, we get our handy dandy rule booklet. It is 3 pages, double-sided, full color, full of pictures, illustrations, examples. Yours will be full of color. It's very well done. It should have you up and running in no time at all. It's a very simple game, so hopefully I can teach you it right now. Before we get started, I do want to mention this is the promotional copy in front of me, so take everything you see here with a grain of salt. So in this game, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking your deck of monster cards, and you're going to be trying to help them escape to the various different castles, which will be up here. They're going to be running from the monster, or not the monster, excuse me, from the hero who will be located down here. And every once in a while, this hero is going to decide, you know what, there's enough monsters in a horde, and he's going to go up there and kill one of those monsters, at which point the monsters will go on this side of the castle where they are safe, and they will score you victory points and potentially even help you gain control of an area, which can give you victory points at the end of a game. What am I talking about? I'll show you the components, then we'll get a little bit into the gameplay. So first, everybody's going to get this deck of monster cards right here. They are completely symmetric, so every card you see in your opponent's deck is a card that you are going to eventually run into in your hand. I'll walk you through the layout of the card. First, you're going to notice this number right here. It's a very important number. That is the peril of a monster. So this monster has 1 peril, 2 perils, so on and so forth. That is going to give you control of the castles at the end of the game. And also, during the game, when they are in hordes, and a horde is going to be a line of monsters going down from a castle, this will let you know whether or not the hero is going to attack. Because as you can see, the hero has a 7 right here. So once a horde gets to at least 7, he is going to go ahead and attack that horde, which means he's going to kill the card at the very bottom of that horde. So that card will be dead, and then all the rest of them will go, they will escape, and they will go to the castle. Now, all the heroes have unique special abilities, and there's quite a few heroes in the games, and as you can see, they all have their own little text on the bottom of the cards. This one in particular is going to attack the minion with the highest victory point value in the horde, which brings us back to our monster card. The victory point value is going to be this number right down here at the bottom. So this guy, if he can get into the castle, will get you 3 points at the end of the game. Also, nearly the majority of the cards are going to have text on the bottom of the cards like this that will either say ongoing or immediate, because there is a lot of different things going on in the game. So for instance, this guy, after this guy is defeated, the current player discards one of their minions from any horde. So if an opponent defeats this guy and he kills him, then they have to lose one of their cards, which might make him say, you know what, I don't think I really want to kill that guy. But granted, when you kill someone else's opponent by triggering the hero to come up and attack the horde, you're going to get 2 victory points for each of your opponents you're able to successfully kill one of their minions. So it is well worth it. Once the hero comes up and attacks, you're going to flip over a new hero, and you're going to continue to go until all of the heroes in the deck have ran out. So, next, back on to components, let's take a look at some of the different castles. As you can see, they have the numbers in the middle. That's how many victory points they're going to be worth at the end of the game, depending on who has the most peril at a particular castle. So if red had 6 peril at this castle and green had 7, 7 of these guys, then green would score the 9 points at the end of the game. Now, a nice thing is these are double-sided. So all of these are double-sided, and I believe there's 6 of them, 7 of them in the game, so you're going to have a very variable experience each time. Same with the heroes as well. Now, some of them you're going to notice also have special abilities, or special text on the bottom. So after playing a bat minion in this horde, because they have different symbols right there, add 1 victory point token to that minion. So that's great. So that could potentially get you more victory points, assuming that guy gets over across to the castle. So let's show you how the gameplay works. Oh, there are some tokens over here. I want to show them to you real quick, because some cards will make you add peril to particular cards, and some will give you victory points of 1 and 2 increments. So on your turn, it's going to be very simple. You're going to have 5 cards in your hand, like so, and you're going to play a card. So I'll just play this. After a minion is defeated, Necromancer's owner gains 1 victory point token. That's a great card to have early, so we'll just put it right there. And that would be the end of my turn. I don't trigger the hero, obviously, because he's not going to attack until we get to 8. And then I continue out on about my merry way. Let's see if we can scoot that down so you can see it a little bit better. So now our opponent would go. So he would have 5 cards like so, and he would decide which one he's going to play. You know what? He's going to go ahead and, let's see, what's this one do? Immediate. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Choose one to put into your hand and discard the rest. So he would do that. Bada boom. This does not trigger this guy because he's still at 8. And then he would do whatever was on the special ability card. Now, what's going to happen when we finally do get to attack? So let's go ahead and put a couple guys right here, a couple guys right there. Let's just say we trigger it. I don't know if the math adds up, actually. But we're going to pretend it does. So this particular guy, he is going to defeats 2 minions of the horde he attacks. So right now, let's pretend that green triggers this. Just for funsies, he would go up. He would kill the top 2 cards right here, which means they'd go back over there to our opponent's discard pile. All of these guys would escape, and then green would get 4 victory points because he was able to successfully kill 2 red guys. Actually, one of those was a green guy, so he would only get 2 victory points, which he will not lose. There's just there for the rest of the game. Even though I do believe there's a card that makes you discard a victory point. So then we would reveal another hero, and we would continue on that way. Now, at the end of the game, once the last hero has been dealt with, all the cards and all the hordes escape. You add up the total points over here to see who's won the different areas. They get those points. Then you add up the victory points on the bottom of the card, and whoever has the most points will be the winner of Retreat to Darkmoor. And that, in a nutshell, is how the game is played. Alrighty then, Retreat to Darkmoor from Action Phase Game. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody. 2 to 4 players, very restricted player count. You play with a larger gaming group, you're probably going to steer clear. Also, if you're not in the market for a filler game, this one's not going to be for you either, because I would put it squarely in the filler game category. Now, yes, you could probably bust this out as a family weight game and a gateway plus game. I think it's still a little bit too complex for gateway games because it has immediate abilities and ongoing abilities and cards doing swaps and all sorts of stuff like that. But as a gateway plus game, it might fit that bill, but definitely in the filler category. Next, it has a lot of very basic decisions. You know, it's a very simple game. You play a card, most of the time that's the end of your turn. Sometimes you trigger the hero, sometimes you don't, sometimes you have immediate ongoing abilities, but the majority of the time you're just going to be playing a card and drawing a card. So if you're hoping for a little bit meatier, a little bit deeper, this one might not be for you. But granted, take that with a grain of salt because there's a lot of text on the cards, which I'll talk about in the pros. Another con is the generic fantasy theme. If you're sick of the generic fantasy theme, this one is squarely in the generic fantasy. Now, granted, it does flip it on its head a little bit as you're playing as monsters running away from a hero, which is interesting, but still, generic fantasy. Any other cons I have with the game? Oh yeah, if you don't like games where people are going to be messing with your stuff, this one might not be for you because the cards, a lot of the cards will do that. You're going to have the hero trying to kill you, so they'll be killing some of your cards, and people are going to be swapping your cards and bumping your cards down and putting cards back in your hand, doing all sorts of stuff like that. So if you don't like games where people are messing and touching with your cards and forcing you to constantly be changing your plans, might not be for you. Moving on to the pros, though, I enjoyed Retreat to Darkmoor. Everybody I played with enjoyed it. I told them it's a light, simple filler game, and everybody had fun with it. And that's exactly what this game is. It tries to be a light, simple filler game. It succeeds at that. It's got easy to learn rules and mechanisms. It's easy to teach, which is great. The artwork is good. I like the fact that it has a lot of variability too. You're not going to use all the heroes most of the time. So you're going to, all the time. So you're going to have a lot of different heroes. You never know which heroes are going to come up. Same. They got the different locations and they're double-sided. So you have a whole bunch of different locations. You can flip around. Some will do different things. Some will be worth just more big bulks of victory points, and then some will be worth less. But that might be a good one to go to because everybody's like, oh man, I want to get that 10-pointer. You're like, hell, I got this 4-pointer on lockdown. Maybe I can get this 7-pointer over here without anybody noticing, and bada boom, I got myself 11 points. Canceled everything out. I really like the cards. I mentioned them quite a bit in the cons, is how they can be a little bit complex for newer gamers, and I did have that issue. I played with someone who'd only played like 3 or 4 games, and she's like, I'm not sure what this means or what that means. But everybody else was always like, man, these cards, they do some cool things. And I liked it because you knew that your card was going to be coming up, because everybody has identical cards, so your card is coming, and you can kind of plan towards that and be like, oh man, if I can just draw that card, I'll be able to bump this down, which will be able to kill off this guy, and I'll be able to get these points and do this and do that. And I like that. So there's a little bit of forward planning, hoping that you're going to get some of the cards that you've seen your opponents play. And, I mean, that's what I got. It's a light, fun filler game. Put it this simple. If you like filler games, if you routinely play with 2 to 4 players, this is definitely one worth checking out. I liked it at 2 players, I liked it at 4 players, and I liked it at 3 players. It played well at all the different player counts, which is difficult. This area control with 2 players can be very difficult, but this one succeeds at it. So that is Retreat to Darkmoor from Action Phase Game. If you're in the market for a filler game, this is not a bad one to check out. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know, if you had a castle, what would be the first thing that you would put in that castle? Like, they're like, all right, sir, we got the walls done. What do you want in here? And I'd be like, I want the biggest, deepest underground pool possible. I would just tell them to dig like 8 wells. Just 8 wells back to back to back to back to back. And then it would just be filled up with water. And I would just have hot coals on the bottom or something. So it'd be just like this nice big jacuzzi. It'd be amazing. I'd be the worst king ever. Let me know in the comments below. What would you put in your castle? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.